The girl that I treated like a little sister disrespected me, sat on my husband's lap, and called me insecure and childish. I spoilt the mood for leaving. I'm still so shaken by everything. My husband and I have been married for 3 years, and from the beginning, he was very close with his best friend's sister Cindy. Well, my husband would often talk about her and tell me how he had seen her grow up throughout the years. Cindy is always very bubbly and seems very fond of Jake as well. I remember when we were dating, she would ask to come along on our dates a lot. I never really said anything, as I liked spending time with her as well. She was like a little sister to me. When we announced our engagement, she asked my husband to better not forget her after being a married man and to still hang out with her. Well, we got married, and I even made her my bridesmaid. Soon, we moved to a different state and lost contact. Now Jake's best friend came to stay with us for some time and Cindy came along as well. Now the moment she saw us, the first thing she said was how hot my husband had gotten, and she was glad he didn't look like those boring married men. Then, throughout their stay, Cindy would just ignore my presence and would be way too close to Jake. I told Jake that it was looking a bit inappropriate and to ask Cindy to tone it down, but he said that Cindy is just a bit childish and is that way with everybody. Well, on their last day, we decided to host a dinner party for everybody. During the party, I was with Jake when Cindy came and told me, "Oh, I need to steal your husband for a while," and before I could say something, she grabbed Jake's hand and took him to play games. I ignored it since it was their last day, but then, throughout the dinner, she was getting way too close to Jake and would just drag him away whenever I would be around while giggling at me. When everybody sat for dinner, I sat beside Jake, and Cindy came last. She then said, "Oh, there is no seat," and then just went and sat on my husband's lap. Everybody was surprised, and Jake said, laughing, "Cindy, stop acting like a kid. You're not a kid anymore." Cindy started laughing, saying it was a joke, and sat on the other seat while giggling at me. Yeah, I was so angry with the disrespect and with the fact that Jake was so cool with it, but I didn't want to say anything bad, so I excused myself, took my car, and went out. About 1 hour later, Jake called me asking where I was. I told him I was going to my friend's house and I would come after Cindy had left. I know what I did was terrible, but I was so angry at that time that if I had stayed there any longer, I would have probably started fighting or crying. I came the next day, and Cindy and her family left. Jake was very pissed and said I took things too far. I started crying and told him how everything made me feel. He said I was horrible to think such things about Cindy and that she was like his sister. I told him that I did not doubt his intentions, but I was hurt by how disrespectful Cindy's behavior was, and he was enabling her by not saying anything. He started saying that I sounded ridiculous and couldn't even take a joke, referring to the sitting on lap incident. I said regardless, I didn't want her in my house again. To top it off, Cindy sent a message saying that she was sorry about making me so insecure in myself and that she would make sure to make me feel better, but I should not have left as it was pretty childish and kind of spoilt the mood. It felt so backhanded. I didn't reply anything to her. I just told my husband he needs to maintain a distance from Cindy. He asked if I was giving him an ultimatum. I asked if he would go as far as disregarding and disrespecting my feelings for Cindy. This really rubbed my husband the wrong way, and he said since I have such disgusting thoughts in my mind and am giving him an ultimatum anyway, then he might as well leave because he cannot leave with such an insecure person who has such disgusting thoughts about him. He packed a bag and left for his mother's place. I have tried apologizing numerous times, telling him how sorry I am for everything, but he is ignoring my texts and calls. Later, Cindy's brother texted me and called me a bunch of names to think like that about his sister, saying Jake should just leave me and that a disgusting person like me deserves to be alone. I could not stop crying after that. Update. Now during the dinner, there was Cindy, her brother Sean and his girlfriend, and their cousin Derek, also a good friend of my husband with his boyfriend. So I called Derek and asked about the situation and what happened after I left. He was sympathetic and said that after I left at first, they thought I would come back after some time. However, things were really awkward, but when I didn't come, Sean's girlfriend told Cindy that she was so disrespectful for doing that. Derek and his boyfriend also said the same thing. To this, Cindy started crying.